Hello everyone. Today we are here to discuss a very important topic from the topic of national income. I'll be sharing few videos which will be carrying the concepts of the national income. That would be methods of the national income and certain important topics which are relevant to the same. So I'll be starting first with that problem of double counting. It's very much important while calculating national income through the value added method. So first and foremost thing, we all know that in measuring national income, we calculate only the value of the final goods and services. Fine. And the problem of double counting arises when the value of intermediate goods, that is, which are further used in the production process, are also included along with the value of final goods. So under the value added method, we know we have two types of goods we define. First is final goods, which are considered for calculation of national income, and others are intermediate goods, which are still under the production system. So double counting refers to counting of an output more than once, as the name suggests, while passing through the various stages of production. I'll explain the various stages of production with an example, which is very much common in all the books available. So the commodity passes through various stages of production before reaching the final stage. When I call the final goods are those goods which are meant for the further consumption and which after once they're consumed, they won't be circulating or forming into the chain of production system. When the value of the commodity is taken at an early stage, it's likely to be include the cost of inputs more than once. So that leads to the problem of double counting. Let's elaborate the problem of double counting through an example. So that was an introduction part. Let's take an example. Suppose we have three parties in this example. First is farmer, next is miller, and a baker. Suppose a farmer produces 50 kg of wheat and sells it to the miller for 500 rupees, 500 for flour mill. For the farmer, the wheat of 500 is a final product. Obviously, when one person is selling the product, every seller consider the same as its final product. If the intermediate cost for the farmer is to be zero, then this value added would be 500. We know the formula for the value added is value of output minus intermediate consumption. Since farmer is not adding any value over here, not adding any intermediate cost over here, so 500 would be considered as value added for the farmer. Now, next coming to the miller. For a miller, wheat is an intermediate good. Obviously, he has purchased the wheat from the farmer. Miller converts the wheat into the flour and sells it for 700 to a baker. Now the flour of 700 is a final product for the miller, but obviously miller is selling it as a final product. But here the value added would be different. Reason being, value added again, the formula is value of output minus intermediate consumption, if any. So here the miller is selling the good for rupees 700, whereby 500 is already an intermediate consumption. That is the wheat he purchased to convert it into flour. That was being purchased, which was considered as intermediate. So here the value added is rupees 200. Now, again, still the process is not complete and the good is not here reach the final consumption level. For the baker, the flour is an intermediate good. Baker manufactures bread from flour and sells the entire bread to the final consumer. Now, I am saying final consumer. This stands for the flour will not again comes into the chain of production system, and here the ultimate consumer is consuming the good. For rupees 1000, the bread of 1000 is the final product for the baker. So here the value added is 1000 minus 700, that is 300 by the baker. Now the value added by the baker is 300 and by the miller is 200 and 500 by the farmer, since he didn't consider any intermediate consumption. Now this is being explained through a chart. That is value of output minus input, any kind of input, and value added, right? Now, in the given example, wheat is a final product for the farmer, flour for the miller, and bread for the baker, but obvious as a general practice, since every producer treats his commodity as the final output. Now, if I don't consider or use the formula of value added, that is value of output minus any kind of intermediate consumption, what would be the, earlier we used to follow this kind of concept. So what would be the error in the economy? Where we are considering that 500 plus 200 plus 300 is an income in an economy. This stands for only rupees 1000. But what if we don't consider the formula of value added? What would be the final output in an economy? That would be total value of output, that is 500, 700, 1000, which comes out to be 2200. Stands for the income in an economy generated is shown as 2200, but actual value, if we use the value added method, if whereby we deduct any kind of intermediate purchase which is already considered in an economy, the actual value added in the economy is only rupees 1000. So this 2200 is a problem of double counting. Problem of double counting, right? So you should know that value of intermediate goods contains the value of the wheat is included in the value of flour. Value of flour is included in the value of bread. So as a result, the values of wheat and flour are counted more than once. It was a small random example. What if the process is too long? Imagine how much value added unnecessarily output is shown in an economy. This causes the problem of double counting. It leads to the overestimation of goods. So in order to avoid the problem of overestimation of goods produced, fine, we consider the problem, we solve the problem through the value added method or value of output method. Thank you. Good luck and God bless you all. I hope you all could relate the things to the formulas. In further, these videos would be followed by more concepts and methods of national income. Next video will following the same will be including the national income concepts, whereby I'll be starting first of all with the income method.